so I'm gonna see if... Here. Continuing on with the Everglades tomatoes and the end of time. I think, I don't know. Let's see here. It's my neat little seed. Oh, okay. I have some that pops into a seed tray. I have to find which seed tray. Huh. I just saw a ton of them too. I noticed there is quite a few popping out of this pot. So I'm just going to take them out. Gently. Oh. Shoot, I need a new seed tray. These are for what mushrooms come in, but they fit perfectly. Shoot, I gotta have, yeah. Oh, no, no. Okay, just enough in there. There's a baby attached, and I'm out of seeds. I mean, I have like some fresh tomatoes, but I really want to just try to get as many as I can out of these lovely gifts from existence. Beautiful. I'm gonna trim these like thatching threads off when I'm done potting things. They look pretty beautiful. And she might droop a little bit after being repotted, but it'll come right back. These are Everglades tomatoes that are very, very hardy. Look at that big boy. Got a little bit of a pop, but that's gonna be okay. so small. I don't know if that one's gonna make it. I might as well try. Same thing I thought. Well, that might not make it. I'll try anyway. Because these were just gonna end up either drying out or something. One more, and then we got two decent sized ones. Little seedlings. And they'll be fine. And even if they droop a little bit, they'll come right back. I'm actually gonna put these on the seed starting table. Germination station. Give them a little extra shade during the day. This stuff would be great for orchids too. I'm guessing. It doesn't mold. I've never seen it mold or anything like that. And it's free. I try to do as much stuff for free because then that's more for craft supplies, tools, anything. Memories. That one was a little in there, so it might not make it. But the other one definitely will. Got something. Got these from yard sales and they're glass, so they'll last forever. And if I ever want to make a pie, I could just grab it from outside. I don't know. Oh, Spencer, happy day indeed. Got some Everglades tomatoes, and they've been popping up in everything. So I'm really trying to get as many as I can in pots of their own, because I'm totally out of seed. I have like a few seeds in a bag, and but can't beat when the earth wants to do the work for you. I mean, even got a ton of seedlings. And this is one of those like forgotten plants. Very drought tolerant. Not exactly sure what it's called. I always mean to ID it, but I always forget. This is what it looks like when it's forgotten, and when it's not forgotten, it's a deeper green, and it has big beautiful leaves. You can see some on here, and it's like a zigzag. And this grows and propagates really easily from cutting, and I don't think it would mind being shoved in a envelope. Even the tiniest little piece I could show. Like, this isn't even in soil. This isn't just a little forgotten thing. It fell behind something. It's not even in soil. It's just holding on by one root. Beautiful little flowers. Of course, as soon as this gets a little love and attention, it's going to grow beautifully. Got a little KYNTO or KYNTO here. I never know how to pronounce it. Now look at the quick update on these. This is just Publix thyme plants. I ripped a few tiny little sprigs off, threw it in a cup of water, and then I threw them in some soil, and they're growing beautifully. It's quite hot out here. They get full sun during the day. I think I have one more. Yep, one more of those. And oh gosh, I busted open a coconut to use the coir, I believe it's called. I'm not sure if the inside is. Anyway, the coconut fibers, really good to add to pots to keep them nice and moist. And I swear I thought the coconut was dry, and I hit it with the machete. The most rotten juice sprayed everywhere. I could still smell it. Okay, so I got 4 more Everglades, and I'm gonna wait a few days before I pass these along to someone to make sure they are okay, which I have 0 doubts. But yeah, so I'm gonna give them some water before I forget. I'm gonna have to need one more. I also have some frangipani growing. I just put the seeds in this to use kind of like a makeshift greenhouse. A friend of mine found a frangipani seed pod and gave it to me. And I did. This frangipani is grown from seed by a friend. And see, another bit of proof where I don't know anything. Usually, like, I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, that's not gonna work. But this time I was like, it's not gonna work. Seed pods, they were picked too early. They're not gonna work. They worked. They worked really well. And so here's the product of that. No, I have no idea what plant flavor. I have no idea what color it's gonna be. But that's one of the fun parts of frangipani. And frangipani, beautiful flowers. It's another one of those trees you could just break and put into soil. No rooting hormone or anything. And I do want to show this mystery bad boy. I believe it's medic. I don't think it's black medic. I think it's I think they called it yellow medic. But the leaves from afar, really shaky hands. I don't know why. I don't have insurance, so I don't think I'm gonna find out anytime soon anyway. But this is growing everywhere, and I grabbed a piece because my phone was dead and I couldn't take a picture of the leaves. And the leaves kind of reminded me of rue or ruta, so I grabbed a little thing, and then I noticed like a week later, the leaves were still like looking good, and the flower spike was forming. So I was like, ooh, sweet, I will get you some soil at once. And we do got a pigeon pea. The first pigeon pea shot out, which I don't know why now it looks totally different. I put pigeon peas in here, marked it. It's a big thing sprouting. It has to be pigeon pea. I don't know what else I would have planted, but I'm 90% sure it's a pigeon pea. But there is like a 10% chance of mystery. And still got a ton of more tomatoes to plant. However, I try to keep a minimal right now. Until trying to find like some bottling plants to get more drums so I could store water because hoses aren't really, there's too much space in between places, and the hose, like when it gets, it's just so difficult to move back and forth, and it's like in the sun, so it is burning on fire, and moving that around is just really difficult. So that's why yet another reason why to focus on native plants, and then I'm gonna get back to the mentality of growing some vegetables in between, and which I'm gonna. There's so many native edibles that I have on my mind that so I probably won't be trying a proper vegetable garden this go around. I mean, it's a little late to get anything in the ground anyway. I mean, it's too late for even Seminole pumpkins, as far as I understand. And I'm not really prepared to plant them anyway. And the ground is very dry. And I don't know why the rain just, the rain seems to refrain from this plane. Why? Some Tillandsia, I think. Statue of Libertas. Tillandsia. Statue of Tillandsia. How does she stand? This is my best statue face. This book, I haven't even got through the whole thing yet, and thank you, Green Dean, for existing. This is the greatest gift I've ever received. There's some sap on it, but that's very fitting. I'm surprised it's still so clean. But tomorrow, the next day, I had this book when I was growing up. It was Florida Wild Edible Plants. But on the coast, other than like sea grape and stuff like that, like I wasn't able to find a lot. And that is going to be in the mail tomorrow, the next day. So I'm really, really stoked to go through that with adult eyes. I haven't seen that book since I was in middle school. And then there's another book coming, but it's only 96 pages, and it's another Florida Wild Edibles, and it came out, I believe, in 2000. Shoot, I just looked it up. But there's not many Florida Wild Edibles or South Florida field guides that I can find. If anybody knows of any, please do recommend them. Even the University of Florida's field guide for Florida trees, the South Florida edition is out of print. So I'm always looking. I print out as much as I can, and I did want to read some Florida history. Florida recipes and Florida history. I wanted to read some Florida history. I just collect any informational piece of paper from museums. So we got the gruesome tale of Florida's Bloody Bucket Bridge. And there's a bucket for effect. In the little town of Florida, the little Florida town of Wauchula, because the CH would be CH. There is a road that dates back over 100 years, known as Bloody Bucket Road. As you travel down that old road, you'll come to Bloody Bucket Bridge, a small bridge across a narrow waterway that locals say has been known to run red with blood. Of course, it's not publicly called Bloody Bucket Road on any map, but it's a name that has stuck with the location for decades because of its ominous past. Beautiful Florida map. As the story goes, an elderly, now freed slave woman and her husband settled in Wauchula. excuse me if I'm mispronouncing it, Florida, right after the Civil War. There, she became a midwife. Some say she did the horror. Oh, never mind. I forgot about that part. So, what is a human history? Is some brutal stuff. I just how about I just read about turpentine, okay? Turpentine is a colorless or yellowish liquid that has a strong odor and is highly flammable. It is used in, it is used chiefly in making such chemical products as disinfectants, insecticides, medicines, and perfumes, and in the making of synthetic rubber. It is also used as a thinner in paints and varnishes, and for removing paint stains from clothing and the skin. Some turpentine is used in the processing and flavoring of certain foods. Turpentine is made chiefly from long-leaf pines and slash pines, which grow throughout the southeastern United States. There are 3 types of turpentine. They are in order of importance: sulfate turpentine, wood turpentine, and gum turpentine. Gum turpentine is produced by wounding or cutting the bark of living trees. A solution of sulfuric acid is applied to the wound, which measures about a ½ inch, 1.3 centimeters wide, and a ½ inch deep. The acid causes gum to ooze out for as long as 4 weeks. Until the wound closes, the wound is then reopened and a sulfuric acid solution is applied again. This procedure is repeated throughout the gathering period, which lasts from March to October. The gum is taken to a steam distillery where it is made into turpentine. Gum turpentine accounts for about 5% of the turpentine produced in the United States. Getting turpentine from trees, from pine trees. When we moved on turpentine, it's a quote, so maybe this is a little story. I got these like 10 years ago. For some reason, I've known Black Bloody Bucket Bridge my whole life, but my mind's always in 50 different places, and I guess I forgot about the darkness. The early Florida, early human history is very brutal, and thank God for the internet. That's all. Getting turpentine from pine trees. We moved on turpentine farms. I started raking pines on my first job in turpentine days. We learned to ship, done some digging, taking the turpentine out of a box, dumping it into a bucket, pouring it into a barrel, carrying it to the still, and making resin out of it. I worked at the sawmill a lot. When I worked on the railroad, I got 9 cents a day. Turpentine, we got 75 cents a barrel. I think it was. Wasn't like it is now. When I came to Florida, this was DeSoto County. When I came to Bowling Green, they split it up into several counties. I happened to be in Hardy County. I worked in turpentine here in Bowling Green until I stepped on a rattlesnake that broke me up from turpentine. When you'd get turpentine, a fellow would come along with a wagon. He'd take that barrel, roll it up the wagon, bring it to the still. They would cook it and make a resin out of it. They used to take the turpentine for medicine. Turpentine was my main job. Right on. Could read a little bit about the Clewiston Inn. Went there for Sugar Fest. Really cool spot. this is brutal. Jesus Christ. The Seminoles, beautiful, beautiful people. They're native to, I believe, Georgia, Alabama, and were forced down to Florida. And but some of the most gorgeous humans. And it's just such a shame that the world was run by dickheads for a long time, and there's no end in sight as far as, like, that's why people on the ground level need to be with it, and, like, because at any time, like, shit could change really fast, and it's very scary. So I'm not gonna read that one. That one is cabbage palm. That's a nice one. Florida, the Sunshine State, pays homage to the swamp, the swamp cabbage, an old-time cracker favorite. Florida obtained from the heart of the cabbage palm. Florida cracker, not, I don't know what else it would mean. I just know that from Florida history. The Florida Cowboys were referred to as the Florida Crackers. So that's why it's not really a insult here as it might be elsewhere. I don't know. All I know is Florida. And the cabbage palm grows wild all over the state in abundance. It grows as individual plants scattered around or clustered together in hammocks. Though swamp cabbage grows wild, it is protected from indiscriminate cutting by designation as the state tree. However, large numbers are cut and sold each year, mostly as a prelude to land clearing operations and with consent of the landowner. Cabbage lovers are reminded that since its use for food necessities, the total destruction of the tree, authorization must be obtained from the landowner before cutting. Because if you harvest a heart of palm, it kills the palm. And but a lot of times they're removed when they clear land for a house going in or a shopping center. And it's a great time to try and just ask, first, because it is a historical food, and one that's a treat to engage in as long as the tree isn't being injured. Most cabbage palms are about 10 to 20 feet tall, although some may grow as tall as 80 or 90 feet. At about 8 to 10 foot height, the swamp cabbage is cut from the tree. To remove the central core of the heart, the outer frond stems are cut away and the trunk is severed about 3 feet below the bud. Fronds, which wrap around the trunk, are stripped away until the center core is reached. It is cylindrical in shape, creamy white in color, and composed of layers of undeveloped boots or leaves. By this time, by the time the boots are removed down to the tender heart, the edible end products may weigh from 5 to 10 pounds. That's a good amount of food. But again, it kills the tree. This is back when it was a staple in a lot of people's diets. And gosh, I don't know how people did it. If you walk through native Florida and native Florida forests, it's very hard to walk through. And I just can't help but give infinite props to all early Florida pioneers, whether it be our native tribes or, when people were searching for the New World or what have you. However people arrived here, a really intense landscape. Everything's sharp. We have 2 incredibly toxic trees. The manchineal is a notorious one. And, they call it manzanillas de la muerte because little apples of death. And the fruit is highly toxic. I believe iguanas eat them and something else. But fruits are highly toxic. You can't burn the tree. You could go blind. And you can't stand under it during a rain because your skin will blister. And Most popular old Florida cracker way to cook it is to cut into slices and place them into a pot of water with meat seasonings, white bacon. I'm not sure what white bacon is. Until done. Salt and pepper to taste. Butter may also be added after cooking. Some crackers like to pour evaporated milk over the cabbage once it's placed in serving bowls. Another popular method of preparation is to slice cabbage thinly and place the slices into a salad. A pinch of dates or a spoonful of guava paste as a final touch to the dish known as hearts of palm salad. That sounds really good. Arcadia starts selling canned rattlesnake. Arcadia is really cool. It's right on Peace River. I'm dying to go back there. Weird Florida may be a popular meme today, but wow, this is from forever ago. Sweet. Weird Florida may be a popular meme today, but many people realized Florida was weird a long time ago. How else to explain the widespread coverage of northern newspapers gave to George Kenneth End and his canned rattlesnake business? End moved to Arcadia from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and reportedly was not successful raising vegetables on his scrubby farm. A pork canning plant also failed. The End noticed his land, noticed his land was producing an abundance of one particular crop, rattlesnakes. One day, he and his sons became curious what the rattlesnakes might taste like, and Mrs. End was up to the task of frying the meat. You guessed it, rattlesnake tastes like chicken. Well, like chicken blended with quail. The experiment, along with a successful test feeding at a veterans gathering, encouraged End to form the Floridian Products Company. And by 1940, the clan was shipping 15,000 cans annually, 1.25 a can, so $1.25 a can for rattlesnake. Rattlesnake became a delicacy served in swank restaurants in New York and LA. Meat from a single snake filled 3 5-ounce tins, leaving a lot of rattlesnake leftovers. So End started marketing shoes, belts, jackets to consumers. Venom to laboratories, and fat and crystallized gall to pharmaceuticals. End's venture ended in 1943 after he died from a bite of one of his snakes. His plant ceased operation and was purchased by herpetologist Ron Allen, who moved it next to his venom lab in Silver Springs and began selling the meat under his own name, alongside his alligator soup. It'd be really cool to see his creation, to see the belts and stuff that he made with the rattlesnake. His name again was George Kenneth End, like ends, like the end of times. George Kenneth End. What else we got here? Oh, yeah. There was a mammoth found here a long time ago. The original mammoth was found at Hickey Creek off Murphy Road in Hardee County, Florida, in the dig of 1963 and 1965. During that time, the Scouts donated a complete mammoth to the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., the first with the tusks still attached. Also, numerous artifacts of the American Museum in New York and the State Museum in Tallahassee, which I'm dying to check out. I don't think I've been to Tallahassee. That's our capital. The Smithsonian Institute certificate, accession number 3534. This certificate was presented to the Eagle Scouts Explorer Post 410 in Hardee County for donating a complete mammoth skeleton to the Smithsonian Institute. This original mammoth was it prints the same freaking thing 3 times. A brief history of the sewing machine. Germany. go wrong with the apron? Very strange to see aprons as a trend right now. Aprons. The principal use of Grandma's apron was to protect the dress underneath, but along with that, it served as a holder for removing hot pans from the oven. It was wonderful for drying children's tears, and on occasion was even used for cleaning out dirty ears. From the chicken coop, the apron was used for carrying eggs, fussy chickens, and sometimes half-hashed eggs to be finished in the warming oven. When the company came, those aprons were ideal hiding places for shy kids, and when the weather was cold, Grandma wrapped it around her arms. Those big old aprons wiped many perspiring brow bent over the hot stove. Chips and kindling wood were brought into the kitchen in that apron. From the garden, it carried all sorts of vegetables. After the peas had been shelled, it carried out the hulls. In the fall, the apron was used to bring in apples that had fallen from the trees. When an unexpected company drove up the road, it was surprising how much furniture that old apron could dust in a matter of seconds. And when dinner was ready, Grandma walked out of the porch, waved her apron, and the men knew it was time to come in from the fields for dinner. It would be a long time before someone invents something that would replace this old-time apron that served so many uses. Grandma used to set her hot-baked apple pies on the windowsill cool. Lucy. Lucy, 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 that's nasty. Lucy, good girl. No, no, no. Lucy's very excited over the rotting coconut. Lucy. Let me set this down. And say hello, Lucy. Lucy is an elderly dog. Oh. Oops. Lucy. Hi, good girl. No. She likes the coconut. Let's take this. You rolled in the rotting coconut. It smells so bad. Oh no. She won't roll in it. She smells it. And it's like I'm gonna have to give all the doors a go today. It stinks. I just gave her a little kiss on her face, and oh my god. What did I do? I smell it again. Going to grab a paper towel. That's what I'll do. Okay. Yeah, we'll stay doing this and stuff. Grab a Let's say hello. Hey, George. Hey, sit. George, sit. You're right. George. He smells the coconut. Hey. Oh. Yeah. What's that? I don't think this is anything, right? George. Oh. Okay. See, the tomatoes are drooping a little bit, but after they get some water, they'll be absolutely fine. Humble little seed starting. I'm trying not to start too much because I have a habit of forgetting to water things, and then I walk back out and it's solidified like cement. So, I just like, yeah. Oh, good. I've been wearing this to remind me. And Port-au-Prince is still hell. If anybody that sees this could please go to Instagram and look up Attis198. That is Alpha Tango Indigo Sierra 198. And he is not only an art teacher but a fellow artist in Haiti. And he had a full-on school, and then the earthquake destroyed it. And then the assassination of their president, I believe. I'm not fully an understanding of what's happening. All I know is he's trying to get to a safer area, and the best thing that we could actually do is just liking his profile, because the more likes he gets, the more people will find it, and potentially just, you know, awareness. Awareness goes a long way, and especially in this day and age with social media still full force, it does a lot of good. And, ooh, this is Chayote. Or Chayote. But yes, Alpha Tango Indigo Sierra 198. His name is Mario Pierre Luis, and he has a whole family, and I don't know if they've been found yet. I know he is with his granddaughter, and his granddaughter's sick, and that's just an absolute nightmare. And regardless of how hellish his life is, he's still sitting there painting and creating art. Most inspirational person I met through Instagram, because I've followed him for a good 5 years now, and it's just, hey! What the heck was that? He just kicked a ton of soil in my humble little nursery. This I got from the local produce place once Napa, and I went, and it's sprouting. These are really good to make like a relish. Put it in salad with some yakima. What's it? Wow, it's not good. So I'm going to probably wash Lucy, because I don't know how much of that she got on her, and it's pungent. It's really pungent. I have stamps. I'm more than welcome to ship a vial of it to someone. Just kidding. A vial of rotting coconut juice. I cannot believe how bad it smelled. Like, I've cut open so many coconuts, even rotting ones, but that was but I hope everyone has a beautiful day. Thank you for joining, and thank you, Spencer, for swinging by. Every time you say happy day, I always throw on Talking Heads' Happy Day. It's one of my favorite songs, and I really like Talking Heads, and yeah. And I also found, hello, Jobu. Try up some magic water. I use a rope and a bottle of coffee. Oh, yeah. No, that's immediate right now. And I have some barrels, but these are going to be used actually for a floating dock. So I'm trying to find ones that are open already, because gravity watering sounds ideal. Absolutely ideal. And start looking up stuff like micro irrigation, and I feel like that would fall under that. And I really want to figure something out because I know every time I water these plants, the rainbow gets lower and lower and lower. And I only got one more. Well, there's two, three, but watering has to be easy, or else it's too easy to let it fall by the wayside and then things dry out. And definitely a huge goal right now. And so I'm gonna look at automatic watering, gravity. Let's see. It's and I'm running out of pots. I'm running out of pots to sacrifice to the garden, and it's really hard to focus right now because I cracked open a coconut and the rotting liquid is right here, and it's pungent. It's really pungent. But thank you for stopping by. Yeah, no, every time. And then the one time I've never been able to recuperate is when I had 35 mulberry trees rooted, moringa trees, all kinds of things. And I got a little too spoiled and not watering every day because I put tons of coconuts in the pots, and it was like just the perfect amount of shade on a tarp. Didn't have to water it every day. But then when the neighbors took out their pine trees, everything fried. And I rarely leave town, and I happened to be out of town that week, and I still feel it. So I feel like every time I put something in a pot, I get like flashbacks to that, and that's why, like, if I had irrigation, like, all this would be pots. There would be pots everywhere. There would be so many cuttings. We'd be able to get better soil easily just by keeping it moist. But that's why it's not very spectacular, but making do. Look at that. Look how sad the soil looks. But the Royal Poinciana, I really like these trees. I know they're considered invasive. I use the seed pods for maracas, and they're one of my favorite things to give as a gift. And I might not have remembered that right. But I'm gonna eat. That's what. But yeah, no. I'm gonna be on. I tried to come on a little earlier today because I'm gonna be doing a stream through KYNTO because the KYNTO streams are pretty much up. And I did one 2 nights ago, and I think it's called a Curiosity stream. I actually thought the stream was going to be on Snappo's channel, which is Code Lock, and it was on my channel, so I was the whole time I was just totally thrown off guard, but it was so exciting because I'm able to show the screen. Other people could join the stream and either share their screen, camera, audio, just typing, a bunch of different ways, and the added nostalgia of the pixel art, and you could actually walk across the stream too. Really hard for me to explain, but in a few hours I'm going to do one of those streams because I'm really stoked for that. I really want to have a spot that people could have discussions, book clubs, debates, all that without fear of getting banned and like just, you know. I said Serge Gainsbourg was a weirdo, and I got so many like alerts on Instagram saying like I was going against their, well, there's like a spirally cloud up there, going against their things. Serge Gainsbourg was a weirdo. Like, that's not, you know, that's not even that, like, it's not controversial in the least bit. But anywho, KYNTO is quickly becoming that spot, and it happens to be Snappo's passion project that he's been coding by himself for a long time now, and it's really just turning into like a bunch of different things. More, I usually say it's a live avatar chat, but it's turning more into a streaming platform. Very hard to describe, but I'm gonna be on that in a few hours, so feel free. And thank you for joining and popping by. And I might be back out here too. I just have to, like, to be totally honest, I have to shower this like rotten coconut off of me because I cannot think. It just stinks. But happy trails, and yeah, never hesitate for anything on Instagram, KYNTO, and I think, yeah, Facebook. But Facebook, I always forget to check it because they make me like sign out of Messenger, so I always forget to check it. Best bet is Instagram and KYNTO. But happy trails and love y'all, and I hope everybody has a perfect day, and I hope the outdoors is welcoming, and yeah, happy trails. It'll be really, really quick.